Grand Rising Loves, this is the Ultra Spread for the collective today. And so the sacred geometry that showed up is high tide. This is the golden spiral, but it showed up in the reverse. Spirals represent cohesiveness, balance, purpose. And showing up in the reverse, it's saying you are very fragmented and imbalanced. You are really not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're not on purpose. Now, solar plexus is very much the energy of our path and purpose, but this is also where we tend to store resentment, shame, rage. And so Mars being a very long retrograde and the planet of the warrior and war, it is actually stirring up a lot of that pent up old anger, rage, resentment, even for myself. And so what this is calling you to do is to get back in touch with your feels so that you can see what's out of balance. And that's why things trigger us. The things that trigger us are gifts because they're showing up to show us that there's still something we're holding on to. And so like when a dickhead shows up and really triggers you, it's never about the dickhead. It's never about somebody being a jerk. That's the gift. Because whatever you have in your body that really wants you to react instead of respond, that's the trigger. And the trigger is usually way older than the experience. And it's your body's memory of a really bad experience. And so in order to heal that, you have to feel to heal. There's no avoiding the feels. And so reacting from a place of trauma just allows that to stay in your body. So if you tell a guy, you're a dickhead, it stays there. It doesn't get to bring it to the surface to heal. But if you then say, why am I feeling this? You know what, this guy, all he did was like cut in front of me in the line and I feel like I want to annihilate him. But why do I feel like that? Like, this is ridiculous. No, it's about feel into that rage. That's about control. Did he treat you like you were absolutely nothing? When did you lose that sovereignty where someone treated you like you were absolutely nothing? That your choice, your decision, your stance did not matter, that they were more entitled than you? When did you first glimpse the hierarchy that was full of shit? And so feel into those triggers. Well, high tide is telling you to get in touch again, get reacquainted with your feels so that you can take anything that is no longer serving you and align yourself, so that you can be balanced, so that you can go forward in life in a balanced, cohesive way. And I have to share this. Every time we have spirals, I'm going to share this. Thank you, Doug. Beautiful shell, millions of years old, found in thousands and thousands of feet elevation in the crack of a mountain. It's just so badass. And so the arrow showed up. The arrow speaks about motion and intent. And here we go, back to intent. I will always, always, always be teaching intent because to me, intent is everything. And if you do not operate from a pure state of love and your highest intent, your highest integrity, then that is what is actually contributing to the chaos that we're experiencing, everyone, the collective. So when the arrow is in motion, your intent has already been set. And so all you can do is just watch it, right? And so if you're like, you have these arrows set into motion, you're like, oh, I hope it hits the mark. I hope it hits the mark. Was the mark your intent in the first place? Are you sending clear messages about your intent? Are your eyes on a prize, but your heart is somewhere else? You see? So we have lots of arrows veering off, not hitting the mark because the intent and the motion are not aligned. The action has to be aligned with the intent for the arrow to hit the mark and for it to be accurate and straight in flight. And I love that message. And here we got the 3 again. 3s are powerful, right? And so even 27 is divisible by 3. 10 is not, but the 1 is the divine creating number. It's divinity. And we are 1. So that's the message of arrow. Aligning action with intent. And then kyanite. And I love kyanite. I actually use kyanite daily in my healing sessions, the black kyanite. And again, it's a storm card, so it stimulates all chakras. Kyanite is the bridge. So I'm going to show you this. I think this is beautiful. I don't even think she's on Instagram anymore, but she made this. She's an Aussie, beautiful Australian woman, crocheted this for me. This is blue kyanite. This is the only blue kyanite that I have is actually in this beautiful piece. But I love this because this has the spiral. Like even in her crocheting, she incorporated the spiral and then the blue kyanite. Isn't that just beautiful? Mandala. I love this. I wish I could remember her screen name because I don't even know if she's still on Instagram or not. But these are my babies that I use in my healing sessions. This is black kyanite, and they can be called wings or fans. But to me, they look like wings. They look like these beautiful black angel wings, right? Kyanite is the most powerful purifying crystal. It never needs to be cleansed or charged itself. And I've been using these for more than a decade. Aren't they beautiful? And it's really hard to find this size. I mean, this is pretty rare. But I love those babies. Now, what kyanite brings, the message for today, is the inner bridge. So, bridging not only pieces of yourself, aspects of yourself, may be something that you've been repressing. So a shadow aspect of yourself, and creating a bridge to that to allow it to be integrated. Bridges are allowing yourself to create connection, okay? So, we've all heard the term burn those bridges, right? This is also talking about creating bridges. So creating community, finding like-minded people, soul tribe, right? I call it the circling of souls. The book that comes with the card calls it bridging. But it's basically the same aspect. When you get acquainted with your feels, you will see what is meant for you, what is aligned with you, what is on purpose with you. And you can start creating bridges to those that are more aligned and then letting go of those that are not, right? So this also talks about the coming of your soul tribe and maybe a new teacher or a mentor, someone who inspires you to be more you and on purpose. So keep your awareness about that, and also keep your awareness about what is no longer aligned, right? So that's the same message of all these. If you're really listening, this is telling you what's out of balance. Get reacquainted with your feels to eliminate that disharmony. The arrow saying align your actions with your intent. So are you balanced in your intent? Are you purposeful in your intent? Or are you allowing the ego to do that? But kyanite helps with the discernment between ego and your highest purpose, your intent, your integrity. Because ego is needy, ego is gluttonous, ego is desirous. And it's not to say that desire doesn't have a higher purpose, because it most absolutely does. But where is your desire coming from? Right? Is it just self-serving and you don't mind if deceit is the way you get it? Manipulation, which I very recently experienced. Thank you, Mars retrograde, for bringing up very old rage with me and allowing someone to be a dickhead, a manipulative predator. Because really that's what it is. When you break it down to the truth of it, you can give it its ugliest name so that next time it shows up, you don't accept it into your sacred space. But really, what it is a predator. Someone who's willing to deceive you to get what they want is a predator. And just call it out. And so here, the Kaitiaki, the guardian of Papatuanuku, Papatuanuku is basically Gaia, Earth, right? And you are the guardian. And what this card represents is reconnection with Gaia. I mean, we are having a human experience. We're not human. We are spirit. We are divine, vibrating, pure love energy having a human experience. But we are held by this and created of the elements of her. And this card, I know for a fact, showed up for me because that's where my head was. I had just pulled from another deck for myself, and literally it was the same card that's come up 3 days in a row, the Gaia card. And I know what the card means, so I didn't read the meaning, but when cards tend to show up multiple times like that, especially at threes is when I pay attention, then I'll actually reread the meaning of the card to see if I'm missing something. And when I opened the book, it opened at that exact page. So I was like, wow, okay, this is really meant for me today. And I have been connecting finally in the desert. The temperature is allowing me to get back to my old routines of meditating outside, and I really miss that. And eventually I'm gonna have to leave the desert because in the months that I can't do that here when it's too hot, I really feel myself suffering. And traveling these past months to Washington, thank you, Jenny, you amazing, nurturing, beautiful soul, and into Colorado, thank you, Becca, beautiful soul sister. I was able to do that in the hottest months of the desert. So escaping to those beautiful places and spending the night in the Valley of the Gods by myself in my car was phenomenal. Anyhow, this card talks about being the guardian and reconnecting with Gaia. And so I was thinking about that when I pulled this and this came up. But I decided not to pull another card for myself or for you, because I do believe that connecting with nature and the elements is a huge part of us reconnecting with our emotion and our intent. Because connecting with the elements, earth, water, wind, and fire, purifies us. And when our body becomes purified and we become a more open vessel, we become more spirit. And our physical body holds the spirit in a huge way. And we become more connected with our feels because we allow them to move through our physical body instead of resisting them. And so you become more responsive than reactive. And it's a beautiful existence, and it's a wonderful place to be. And we're always being watched. And Gaia and nature and the elements are very aware of us and hold us and support us. And when your intent is purified and your integrity is also pure, everything becomes cohesive. That's the golden spiral. So that's the cohesiveness of today. Just get reacquainted with the real you. So, any questions, just contact me through here, message, or my website, divinityin.me. Or you can even search me up by my name, Sherry Magdaleno. So, thank you. I love you. I'm sorry for any transgressions. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Thank you for every experience. Because I know that every experience expands me.